My beautiful soul tribe, this is going to be a general reading / soul tribe, and it's not going to be long because I have some things that I need to do today. And every day I've wanted to come do this, and I've run out of time, and I've been like, well, I need like an hour and a half to do that, so I won't do it. And if I keep doing that, we're never gonna get together. So I decided I'm just gonna come on. My intention is for not a long reading. So I'm here for a good time, but not a long time. I'm so funny. For those of you that have never listened to my Soul Tribe readings before, they're not usually love readings. Although we do talk about like spiritual love and self-love and things like that. But they're kind of just spirit leads the way on them. People will ask, what do I need to do to be part of your soul tribe? If you resonate with my energy, if you feel drawn to my energy, you're part of my soul tribe. There's no rules around here except be respectful. But yeah, so I wanted to read the first chapter of that book. It's not a long chapter. Like I said, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Because I have muggle things I need to do. But I got sick of putting it off every day. I've been wanting to do this for like 3 days now, and I've always run out of time. So I'm going to make some time, damn it. So let's get into your reading. I wanted to start with this deck, which I used. I actually pulled this one, which I'm going to get a couple from. But I wanted to start with this deck, and it's my newest one that I picked up from the local crystal shop. Soul's Journey Oracle, Practical Epiphany for Spiritual Growth. So I just wanted to get a few cards out of this deck for you. I can't remember, hang on. Manage your time. Spirit, why are you calling me out? Manage your time. Okay. So yeah, I'm trying to manage my time right now. Thanks, Spirit. So we're just going to get a few cards from this deck, and then we're going to get a couple of cards from that deck. For some reason, I don't know, I use this deck for love readings all the time, but today I got a download to use it for Soul Tribe, so I'm not sure what needs to come out. And then first chapter of the Untethered Soul. So let's just jump right in. Practical Epiphany for Personal Growth. So, sometimes cards like this do trigger unhealed things within us. So if you feel triggered, it's either your body telling you that it's not a message for you, or it's a wound being triggered. And that trigger could be coming from ego. That defensiveness could be coming from ego. But yeah, my soul tribe, my soul family, how's it hanging, baby? I don't know what it is about soul tribe readings. This weird light energy comes over me, and I love it. So what's up, my people? One more shuffle. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing much better nowadays. Much better. Much better. I went through some kind of upgrade where I spent a lot of time in isolation and sleeping. But I'm back. I'm back to my regular scheduled programming. Sacrament of the present. Experience every moment as it is. And that's such a vibe. I don't know why I'm hearing that's such a vibe. I like the purple dress though. So many people spend so much time ruminating about the past, worrying about the future, that they forget to enjoy the present moment. And that doesn't mean we should just forget about the past or sweep it under a carpet or, not think about our future. But so many people, their present moments are robbed by ruminating over the past or worrying about the future. And the future hasn't happened yet, so really worrying about it is just a waste of time and energy, right? And this is coming from someone who spent all their life ruminating about the past and worrying about the future. And some people get stuck there. They get stuck in the past. And it robs them from the present moment. And why do they call it the present? Because it's a gift, right? Experience every moment as is. It's on page 88. Lovely. So, the purple dress. I love it. The soul's journey does not take place in a linear direction. Every moment is a new expression, and every day is independent of either yesterday or tomorrow. Everyone's past is a blend of good and bad memories, happy and sad moments, and losses and gains. When we spend our time reviewing the past or planning for the future, our mind throws us out of being fully in the present. Letting go of the past is an act of love that provides new space for creation. In the same way that flowers lose their petals and trees lose their leaves, you must be willing to release what has outlived its purpose in your life to make room for experiencing the new. If the tree does not drop its leaves in the fall, it could never sprout new buds in the spring. Letting go of what you love and crossing into the unknown is not easy, but change and growth go hand in hand. It is in moment by moment choosing that you can carve a path that guides you into the future. Every decision you make in the moment helps to create your next choice. Look for the opportunity to recharge and renew, and learn to use your energy well. Have faith that life is bringing something new and sweet and precious your way. As you surrender the old, you make space to experience something greater than you might have imagined in the present. Have faith that grace will create an opening for something wonderful to appear in its proper place and time. I am releasing thoughts of yesterday and the fear of tomorrow to fully experience every moment as it comes. Beautiful. So we'll just keep that card out, and we're going to shuffle out a few more. And let's see what you need to know. Practical epiphany for personal growth. What does your soul need to hear? What does your soul need to hear? All right. So you could be blaming someone from your past. Ow, ow, oh dear, I'm caught up in, ow, my watch. Look, I'm blaming my watch. It's my fault. Shifting the blame, accept others for who they are. And, you can't make someone be who you want them to be. You have to accept them as they are, even if that means releasing them. Because maybe who they are showing up in that moment in time isn't good for you. Shifting the blame, like instead of blaming your parents for your trauma, accept that that's the way your parents were. That's probably the way they were raised. Instead of blaming your ex for ABC, accept the lessons in it, accept that they were coming from an unhealed place. This card came out the first time I used this deck in a general reading, and it comes right after living in the present. So maybe something you need to leave in the past and not bring into your future is blaming others. No one says the journey of life is a smooth ride. Accidents happen, things go wrong, we make mistakes, and not everything always turns out the way we want. We usually look for a reason or a cause for whatever happened to us. Our immediate reaction is often to try and find something or somebody else to blame for our problems. We hope to either change the other person with our criticism or make them feel smaller than us by putting them down. When we criticize others, we are projecting onto them the judgments we inwardly place on ourselves. It's hard to admit that sometimes the others whom we criticize are us. So stop blaming yourself as well. To grow into the person that you are capable of becoming is to be accountable for your own actions. Unless you take full responsibility for your part in any situation, you can't be accountable. You are endowed with such a great capacity to love every aspect of yourself. The most powerful step to healing relationships and gaining self-acceptance is to embrace yourself. Trying to hide your flaws and mistakes or project them onto others does not eliminate anything. Apply the antidote to being critical of those around you by learning to have more love and respect for yourself. When you seek to value your true self and love who you really are, you will naturally be able to see and appreciate the true nature of others. This is how you can develop the capacity to connect more honestly with anyone you encounter. I transform what irritates me about others by learning to... It cut me off. I'm also getting interference in some of my readings. It's very strange. Like at the beginning of this Soul Tribe reading, there's a brrr right before I start. I transform what irritates me about others by learning to love my true self more. All right. And I think that's a common human ego response when someone says, you hurt me, or someone says you did something wrong, to, try and shift that blame. I'm not saying it's okay, but like I've seen it with my own kids. That's something that, I've taught my kids, because I noticed as like very young children, when they did something wrong, they would immediately like make an excuse, or they would immediately say, well, I did it because of this. And I've taught them it's okay to take accountability. There's nothing wrong with taking accountability for your actions. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes. I talked about it in a love reading before this, that one of the greatest gifts of personal transformation is what it does for the bloodlines to come. And maybe you don't have kids. Maybe you don't want kids. I have 4 kids that are very important to me, and they were a huge turning point or catalyst for me for personal growth, because I was triggered when they were like, I have 2 sets of twins 2 years apart, and I think that they were around like 2 and 4, maybe a little younger, and I was triggered, and not blaming them, not shifting the blame. I was triggered, and I kind of saw my dad come out of me. And it was in that moment when I saw the look in my children's faces, I was like, I need to go to therapy right now. And, some people might label me as a gentle parent, whatever that is. I don't even know what that is. I guess I am a little gentle, but I also believe in I'm like Danny Tanner. I believe in talking things out. So the other day, my daughter, she did something wrong. And I said, could you come down and speak to me? And the moment she saw me, she knew that I knew what she had done. And it wasn't a big deal, but I did want to talk to her about it. And she started beating herself up. And I said to her, 1 mistake, 2 mistakes, 5 mistakes does not make you a bad person. I said, but it's important that we learn from our mistakes. And it was very healing to me and my inner child to have that conversation with my daughter, because I thought of my little inner child who, when I was that age, that was not the way things went down when I did something wrong. Even if it was something that I didn't even know was wrong. Like I have memories of being very young, not trying to blame my parents. It's the way they were raised. But I have memories of being like super, super young, not understanding how things worked, how the world worked, and doing something, and then being like punished and yelled at and grounded. And there was no moment for learning in it, no moment for growth. It was just straight up punishment, straight up shame. Anyway, I believe in the healing journey because not only I'm doing it for me, but also for my children, because, my 4 kids, and I know I'm their mom, so I'm biased, but a few of my children are highly emotional intelligent because I've been able to teach them what I've learned in therapy and on my healing journey and through my awakening. And just like trauma passes down and we pour our trauma onto our kids by acting out of our wounding and our trauma, so does the opposite. When we pass healthy communication, when we pass emotional intelligence and healing and we pour that into our children, that's what they'll pour into their children. That's why it's breaking a cycle. So again, I think it's completely normal for like unhealed people or the ego to want to blame someone else. You know, I used to blame my parents for everything that was wrong with me because I had a rough upbringing and I had a rough childhood and I had shitty teenage years. But that's the first thing I learned in therapy was stop blaming your parents and start healing. And I think that it can be really difficult for some people to take accountability for their actions. And there's nothing wrong. To me, there's honor in taking accountability for your actions, for your shadows, right? And we see these two images here. This one in light probably takes accountability for their actions. This one in shadow points the finger at other people. That's another way that you can see that someone is unhealed. Is that if they are constantly, it's everybody else's fault, right? So for those people out there who probably aren't watching this video, there is no shame in taking accountability and saying, yes, I made a mistake. I did something wrong. Now I can learn from it. There's no shame in admitting that you have trauma and maybe you acted out a trauma response because of the way you were raised or your conditioning or your programming. There's more honor, there's more integrity in owning that. And when you own it and you take accountability for it and you recognize it, that's where the healing begins. That's where the self-awareness begins. Okay. Sometimes I don't understand what's happening when I'm channeling, and I don't know what happened there, but that was just, I just came out of it really suddenly and was like, whoa. That was interesting. So be the person who takes accountability. Don't shift the blame. Like, seriously, look at that person pointing the finger. All right, let's get another one. That was, whoa. And you know, by healing ourselves, we're giving other people or our children the tools to emotionally regulate and to be healthy and to have good relationships. You know, I might include it, but I can't I'll include it right after this clip. I can't include the sound, I don't think, because of like copyright. But I'm going to show you a video that I found on social media about healing generational trauma and about how it affects things long term. And I'm going to share it right now. So I cry whenever I watch this. Now, did I remember to add it to this video? I'm so forgetful that I have this fear that maybe I forgot to add it. We have faced the unexpected. Uncertainty is the only certainty. So maybe you have something unexpected happening to you right now. Are you eating? Are you eating something yummy? Someone's eating. What are you eating? I want to know. I can always tell when someone's eating. What are you eating? Tell us. Uncertainty is the only certainty. And as humans, our ego wants control. But we have to accept that in life, things are uncertain. Maybe you had something unexpected happen to you. An unpredictable circumstance can occur at any time in a person's life. How we face the situation can enhance our life or be the source of much stress. Since dealing with the unexpected is not something we were born with, we have to practice ways to become better at responding to it. The most helpful way to adjust our lives to a new situation The most helpful way is to adjust our lives to the new situation rather than trying to follow the direction that we were headed before. Whether the unexpected situation is in your work or in your personal life, you need to trust that you can work towards building resources to handle change with assurance. When you love what you do, you are empowered to bring about positive change in your relationships, your work, and your life. You can face the unexpected fearlessly and find proper ways to overcome adversity by letting love being your guiding force. Stay calm and allow this energy to surround and fill you with tender imagination. Be positive and courageous and remind yourself that you can handle the impacts of unfavorable conditions. Trust in your power and discipline to fearlessly meet and respond to the unexpected. Your mantra, I have the power to conquer the negative impacts of unexpected situations. And guess what? Something unexpected, that's a tower moment. And what is the point of a tower moment? It's divine intervention. And the Mr. Crow is like, sing it, sister. A tower moment is meant to redirect you. A tower moment, something unexpected, is almost like the universe saying you're going the wrong way. So if you have something unexpected in your life, rather than dwelling on why is this happening to me and being that 5 of Cups energy, the expression is crying over spilled milk, but I'm not invalidating your feelings. It's perfectly normal to feel uncomfortable when something unexpected happens. But you also need to trust that it's redirecting you towards something better. And you can learn to adjust. Something unpredictable happening leads to change. Again, those unpredictable tower moments are, I believe, divine intervention that are meant to redirect the course we're going down, because it's like spirit saying you're going the wrong way. So they throw down a tower in front of you. For some reason, I'm seeing like whoever throws the lightning bolts, who is it? Is it Zeus? I don't know. I'm seeing, Fantasia? Mind blowing if you watch it now. But Fantasia, when I was a kid, I was like, this is weird. I don't want to watch this. And I would only watch one scene from it. I would watch the Mickey scene with the broomsticks. And then I would watch the scene with the half people, half horse, and the baby horses that I think they turned into Pegasus, or maybe they were Pegasuses. I don't know. But at one point, isn't there a scene where there's someone in the clouds, like throwing lightning bolts down? Divine intervention, the tower, unexpected. So maybe the unexpected leads to something even better. Move forward. Let love propel you over hurdles. Yes. What are you eating? It just makes my heart happy that someone's listening to me and snacking away. But it would make me happier to know what you're snacking on. Move forward. All right, move forward. My phone's dying. Oh well. The soul's journey is about continuous growth and expansion. Bringing a dream into reality is often achieved by taking proper action to make it happen. Exactly. Anybody who had a dream had to take action towards that dream to make it happen. It doesn't just arrive on your doorstep. I mean, maybe there's some circumstances where that could happen. But I mean, this was my dream. And it was never going to come true unless I pursued it and started a channel. It wasn't like I was going to wake up one day and someone was going to make a channel for me and there was going to be a following there. And you got to work towards it. You got to take action towards it. And I believe, and pessimistic people and wounded people will disagree with me, and they do all the time. But if you were given a dream, if you were given the seed of a dream, it's because in the future you have it. It's because Spirit, the divine, the universe knows you're capable of it. You wouldn't be given that dream if it wasn't achievable. And why am I pointing at you again? I also believe that we can do anything we put our minds to. And again, anybody who accomplished anything needed to work towards it, right? Practice makes perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. You can grow as you go. You can learn. You can grow. You can... What is going on here? I believe that if I wanted to build a house with my bare hands, if I dedicated myself to learning how to do it and I got the materials and I applied myself, I believe I could do it, that I could achieve it. And I believe anybody can achieve their dream. And that's what I tell my kids. Because lots of people have a dream, and lots of people are told by friends and families, teachers, you should do something else because that's not what's the word? Logical? Fuck being logical. Fuck logistics. Okay. Those who realize their ambitions keep pushing and trying new ideas if one does not work. Exactly. They do not give up. They consider setbacks as challenges and opportunities for realigning their direction. The path is led by the heart, using the energy that is created, but from loving what they do. And if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. You know, my partner is so envious that I love what I do. You know? This is fun for me. This fills up my soul. He often says, I wish I had a job that fulfilled me. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And do you know what I say to him? You could. Figure out what you love to do. Start working towards that. Mr. Crow is confirming. When things don't seem to be working, it offers the potential to start a new approach with fresh ideas. Feeling hopeless at this point could easily lead to unhappiness and disappointment. This is when your imagination and the willingness to experiment are needed. Doing what you're truly passionate about and placing your full attention and focus on it is a means of cultivating your desires. It's like there's a fire in you that you need to start. Think about starting a wet fire. Don't give up. Use more dry wood. Use more dry paper. Eventually that firewood will dry out. You'll get your spark going. You got to keep tending that fire. That's your soul spark. You're not just going to be presented with a bonfire soul spark. You got to build it. You got to tend to it. You got to work for it. What is happening to me right now? It's like my higher self just transformed into my body. I feel like I should be on a podium. Your challenges will actually help you become more aware of your own unique abilities to meet and solve them. When you truly follow your vision, you will touch the divine purpose for which you were born, and we were all born with magic. You will move beyond smaller ideas of yourself and be able to expand your vision. Being more attentive, you will recognize and implement what is and isn't truly valuable for you. I am overcoming my challenges to realize my dreams. And so many people have that mindset, and I trigger them when they say, well, I can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Well, I really wish I could do that. You can. I really wish my life was different. Then change it. You can change it. And then, because their ego is just trying to protect themselves, they'll tell me all the reasons why they can't do that. And I've triggered people by it. I didn't mean to. And then I realized this was before I started pushing myself. So I learned when I was doing that for other people and I was telling them, well, why don't you do this? Or why don't you try this? You can do it. I believe in you. And they would be triggered by that and pull back their energy from me and not speak to me. I realized that I was trying to give them the message that I needed. So I started telling myself that. Anyway, let's get a few of these other ones because I felt drawn to them for a reason. That's some good grammar there, Kelly. I felt drawn to them for a reason. Who cares if your grammar is not good? Who cares? Your teacher probably cared. Nobody else cares. People who are nitpicky probably care. Who cares what they think? What's gotten into me? Death. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. The past. Unexpected. Growth. They lead to growth. We're reading these two cards. Death. Death is an illusion. It's a fact of life that the human body we use to travel the earth must eventually stop working, our meat suit, as I call it. I was saying in another reading today that I said meat suit to a muggle today, and they looked at me like I was a weirdo, like I was a serial killer or something, I'm like, my meat suit. It was so great. I'm like, what? That's what it is. It's not meant to exist forever. The energy and consciousness that inhabited the body is free and returns to its natural home, but it never abandons us. Learn to view death as merely a change, and everything must change, because stagnancy extinguishes progress. And this isn't just about death. This is like about metaphorical death. This is about endings. They lead to growth and transformation. Losing your job. The end of a relationship. The same is true for a relationship or a career. That's hilarious. I did not memorize this book. I never read from this book. That is hilarious. A soul lesson may be completed. It is time to move beyond this point of familiarity and expand into new horizons of learning and development. This is a wonderful opportunity to thank those other souls in your life who have shared part of your path and taught you so much. Because there is a lesson in everything, as much as people don't like to accept that. There is a lesson in everything. And you know what? I hated school. But I enjoy life lessons. I'm like, what is the lesson in this? What can I learn from this? It's funny because I actually love to learn. Like most spiritual beings, I love to learn about the things that interest me. So like my programming from school was I don't apply myself enough because I was, undiagnosed neurodivergent. I was ADHD, autism. I was dyslexic. My teachers never figured it out. I didn't know. And I was told, you don't try hard enough. You don't apply yourself enough. Why are your grades so bad? And I was trying my ass off. So when I thought about learning all these decks, I thought there's no way I can do that. I'm stupid. And you guys watched me call myself not smart all the time. And now I don't say that. I don't know why I started talking about that. If it was something I wanted to learn about in school, I would learn it. When I never finished school. And when I was at the age where I could take college courses or just courses online and I could pick what it was something I was interested in, I excelled because I wanted to learn about it. Why am I talking about this? I don't know. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. You are constantly being presented with situations tower moments that enable you to develop your inner wisdom and assist you in advancing to higher levels of understanding. The lesson is to be aware of these events and recognize them for what they are. To live a mindful life is not only about respecting, Respecting and honoring, respectering. That's respecting and honoring. Respectering. That's Kelly Dictionary. Honoring those around you. It is also about recognizing every person and circumstance on your path as a teacher. What is the lesson in this? I was just saying that. That's why I had that download. The constant chatter and diversions of life on earth can distract you from the signposts that Spirit has left on your path. Take the time to be aware of the bountiful wisdom that has been laid before you. Acknowledge these gifts and take them to heart as you continue your sojourn? What word is that? In this physical dimension. Don't look for the opportunities that you think you need. Instead, be receptive to the opportunities you are given. Yes. We'll shuffle a few out, and then I'll have to charge my phone really quick before I read that chapter. What message does my soul tribe need? Self-esteem. I often talk about this one, self-esteem. They should be teaching that in school. Self-love? Maybe they are now. I don't think so. My kids are homeschooled, and I am using a... Sorry. Hello. Boop. I felt like we just got up close and personal. I was just reaching for my charger. But my kids are homeschooled, and a lot of people have opinions about that. But one thing about my kids is they are not being programmed and conditioned. And homeschooling, I do have them in an emotional health course, and it talks about self-esteem and self-love, which I absolutely love. But for 35 years, I hated myself. I mean, probably when I was 2, I didn't, but I can remember from a very early age, like every stage of my life, not liking myself, being very hard on myself, lacking self-esteem. It affected all of my relationships. I just talked about not having self-esteem in school because I was constantly told I wasn't applying myself enough, and then I'd go home and my parents would have an opinion about how I wasn't applying myself enough. And I honestly, like, my biggest fear, people would say, what is your biggest fear? And people, everybody has a fear. Mine was always, I feel like I'll never know what it's like to feel comfortable in my own skin, my own meat suit. I feel like I'll never know what it's like to have self-esteem. And through healing, through growth, through self-acceptance, through awakening, through spirituality, I now have better self-esteem. I feel like I'm always going to be working on it. Just like healing is a constant journey, it never ends. I feel like I'll always be working on self-esteem. I used to cry when I would think about having children because I was worried about passing some of my mental health issues onto them. Like, what if I have kids and they hate themselves? Now I have the tools to help them with their self-esteem. And thankfully, my beautiful children have better self-esteem than I ever did as a child. One of them really doubts herself when it comes to school, and I'm her biggest cheerleader. But I'm teaching my kids not to be people pleasers just because they have low self-esteem, to not hate themselves, to love themselves for who they are. That's another huge gift of growth and healing. And nobody is harder on yourself than you are. Nobody. Well, maybe in some circumstances people are hard on you. But nobody's judging you as harshly as you're judging yourself. And life is too short in this meat suit to go through life with low self-esteem. And by giving to yourself and prioritizing self-love, and by being your authentic self, you fill up your own cup. I have my phone perched and balancing. I think it's going to fall, but let's keep going. Self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. And low self-esteem can also stop you from moving forward, going after your dreams, knowing your worth. Self-esteem. It is easy to perceive others as being better than you. It sure is. This is a trap of the ego. There is no one greater or lesser than you. There are only those who have learned how to reveal their gifts to a greater or lesser degree. Everyone is born with unique abilities of the soul. I said everybody's born magical. And just like snowflakes, no two are ever alike. You have the unique perspective to share with the world and to come back this time to put your stamp on it. Perhaps you may not even be aware or in tune with your incredible and gifted self. Why not try to make a list of 10 aspects of yourself or the abilities you possess that you love and hold in high regard? And that can be difficult when you don't have self-esteem. Actually, when I took a tarot course, that was the first thing that it asked me to do. Make a list of 10 things you like about yourself. And it was hard. I struggled. It can be simple, though. Keep it simple. It can also be good to make a list of things that you don't like about yourself and then name something that's good about those things, like your nose. If you don't like your nose, I used to have a problem with my nose. Now I don't. But on that tarot course that I did, it suggested say something that you don't like about yourself and then challenge it. What is good about your nose? What does it do for you? It gives you the ability to smell. And you can pierce it. I pierced my nose when I was maybe 29. And when I told my mom, she was like, oh, I don't know about that. And I'm like, well, I'm an adult and I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's not always easy to write about yourself, but sometimes you need to be reminded just how special you are, and you are special. Remember that you did not come down to this schoolroom by accident. You have meaning and not literal schoolroom, this life. You have meaning and a reason for being. You are a treasure chest of incredible gifts and insights. Now is the time to celebrate you. Yes. And don't compare yourself to anybody. Only compare yourself, even if you don't even have to compare yourself to the past version of you. But if you are going to compare yourself to anyone, only the past version of you, nobody else. You're different than everybody else. It's pointless to compare yourself to others. You're different people on different walks of life with different experiences, different skills. One more. Oh, we have love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. I might just... Too many came out. I said one more. Guilt came out. And I felt guilty for a long time when I started to feel more confident. Because I was so used to not liking myself. And I was like, I'm not trying to be conceited. I'm not trying to brag. You are love. It is your inherent vibration. The obstacles and challenges of the physical dimension attempt to trick you into thinking that there are other ways to view life. But there is only one way that is natural to your being, love. This card simply reminds you that your soul is made of pure divine vibrational force, a pure divine vibrational force of love, and that you need to bring this awareness to bear on every aspect of your life and being. Love is a healing energy. All anxiety and drama cannot exist in the aura of love. And maybe that's why I struggled with anxiety, because I didn't love myself. I had love for others, love for animals, no love for myself. Riddled with anxiety, or whatever the term is. Most souls have come back upon this earth to learn, accept, and utilize this harmonic force and to see its effect upon their lives. It is your time to remind others of the strength of their own power and assist them in knowing fully that love is the most powerful element of the universe. It builds, fortifies, and strengthens even the most lost person. And it's important to give yourself that love. When we live in the power of love, now I'm hearing Celine Dion, the power of love, then it is only then we will know the truth. True love is the spiritual link between us and divinity, or the divine, the universe, God. It will guide our footsteps through the conflicts of the material world and will cleanse our hearts of unwanted facets of the human personality. And we have guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. Right, get out of here. The energy of fear has many guises to complicate your path to loving yourself. Again, I felt guilty for loving myself. Guilt is the most devious because it is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It is a self-imposed emotion that pretends to be instructive and enlightening. Guilt can help us grow when we realize that our actions have been hurtful to others and we need to make amends. Accountability. Remember that card? After we do this, it's time to learn from the behavior and move on. The problem arises when we hold on to that guilty feeling that serves no purpose other than promoting self-destructiveness and low self-esteem. And that's exactly what I told my daughter. Because the first thing she did was go up into her room and isolate. And I believe if my children want space, I give them space. But after she had her space, I am the essence of divine love. Affirmation, yes. Say it. I am the essence of divine love. My goodness. This is a good one. After she came downstairs, I told her, because I wanted to talk to her, Danny Tanner style, and I said, I hate to think of you up there beating yourself up or feeling guilty or feeling like you're a bad person. Anyway. Self-destructiveness. No one is perfect. No one is perfect. Show me a perfect person. There's not one. Everyone makes mistakes. Guilt is not always rational, but if you examine it subjectively, act on it, and release it, it becomes a temporary emotion. Long-held guilty feelings are never good and will create a roadblock to self-love and happiness. You must continually scan your current emotions for any guilty feelings and bring them to the surface for analysis. Healthy guilt is a warning that action should be taken. Irrational guilt needs to be released. So healthy guilt means maybe I should apologize. Maybe I should change my behavior. Maybe I was wrong. But irrational guilt could come from trauma. Last one, grief, because it spit out 3 when I said 1. You got a lot of G cards. The letter G could be symbolic. What letter is that in the alphabet? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 7. Chariot energy. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. And I always say in my love reading, sometimes you need to lose something to appreciate it. In a perfect world, we wouldn't have to. Maybe it's not fair that some people need to lose someone before they realize their worth. Nothing is gone forever. The belief that we have lost someone or something is merely an illusion to assist us in learning to appreciate our having had it in the first place. The emotion of grief and the sense of loss are absolutely real, but that is the point. The lesson of loss is not about the actual physical separation, because the parting is temporary and illusionary. The point of the lesson is to acknowledge that bonds of love never end and that we have not been abandoned. When you accept in your heart that you will be reunited with everything you have ever loved, it will give you the ability to move beyond your grief and derive something beneficial from the experience. To wallow in grief is to pass up the opportunity that you and your soul family have devised and learn nothing from it. Instead, allow your grief to take you to a place of deeper understanding. Whoops, I just hit myself. All right, book time. Book time. First chapter. Awakening Consciousness. Awakening Consciousness. Chapter 1, The Voice Inside Your Head. Shoot, sometimes I wish I could put a muzzle on that voice or tape its mouth shut. Shoot, I can't remember her name. What is her name? Darn, here she comes. What is it? Sally? Sue? She just told me yesterday. What's the matter with me? This is going to be embarrassing. In case you haven't noticed, you have a mental dialogue going on inside your head that never stops. It just keeps going and going. Have you ever wondered why it talks in there? How does it decide what to say and when to say it? How much of what it says turns out to be true? How much of what it says is even important? And if right now you are hearing, I don't know what you're talking about, as I'm reading this, the voice inside my head is talking about something else. So the clip that I'm going to add, which you've already watched, so this is a pointless message, I'm going to take the sound off of it. So it'll be silent, but you'll get the idea. Pointless. Pointless. The moment has passed. Live in the present, Kelly. The whole time I was reading that, the voice inside my head was having a conversation with me about something else. Is what it says even important? And if right now you were hearing, I don't know what you were talking about, I don't have any voice inside my head. That's the voice we're talking about. If you're smart, you'll take time to step back, examine this voice, and get to know it better. The problem is you're too close to be objective. You have to step back and watch it converse. While you're driving, you hear internal conversations like, wasn't I supposed to call Fred? I should have. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot. He's going to be so mad. He may never talk to me again. Maybe I should stop and call him right now. No, I don't want to stop the car now. Notice that the voice takes both sides of the conversation. It doesn't care which side it takes, just as long as it gets to keep on talking. When you're tired and trying to sleep, it's the voice inside your head that says, what am I doing? I can't go to sleep yet. I forgot to call Fred. I remembered in the car, but I didn't call. If I don't call now, oh wait, it's too late. I shouldn't call him now. I don't even know why I thought about it. I need to fall asleep. Oh shoot, now I can't fall asleep. I'm not tired anymore, but I have a big day tomorrow. I have to get up early. No wonder you can't sleep. Why do you even tolerate that voice talking to you all the time? Even if what it's saying is soothing and nice, it's still disturbing everything you're doing. If you spend some time observing this mental voice, the first thing you will notice is that it never shuts up. When it's left to its own, it just talks. Imagine if you were to see someone walking around constantly talking to themselves. You would think, that's strange. You'd wonder, if they're the one who's talking and they're the one who's listening, they obviously know what is going to be said before they say it, so what's the point? The same is true for the voice inside your head. Why is it talking? It's you who's talking, and it's you who's listening. And when the voice argues with itself, who is it arguing with? Who could possibly win? It gets very confusing. Just listen. I think I should get married. No, you're not ready. You'll be sorry, but I love him. Come on, you felt that way about Tom. What if you had married him? If you watch carefully, you'll see that it's just trying to find a comfortable place to rest. It will change sides in a moment. Remember that other book we read? We had to do an exercise where we tried to sit and not have our voice talk, our inside head voice. That was difficult. Remember how challenging that was? What was that called? What was that book called? The Inner Journey. Thank you, Mr. Crow. It will change sides in a moment if that seems to help, and even if it doesn't quiet down when it finds out what's wrong. It simply adjusts its viewpoint and keeps on going. If you pay attention, these mental patterns will become obvious to you. It's actually a shocking realization when you first notice that your mind is constantly talking. You might even try to yell at it in a feeble attempt to shut it up, but then you realize that the voice, that's blip. But then you realize that's the voice yelling at the voice. Shut up. I want to go to sleep. Why do you have to talk all the time? Obviously, you can't shut it up that way. The best way to free yourself from this incessant chatter is to step back and view it objectively. Just view the voice as a vocalizing mechanism that is capable of making it appear like someone is in there talking to you. Don't think about it, just notice it. No matter what the voice is saying, it's all the same. It doesn't matter if it's saying nice things or mean things, worldly things or spiritual things. It doesn't matter. It's still just a voice talking inside your head. In fact, the only way to get your distance from this voice is to stop differentiating what it's saying. Stop feeling that one thing it says is you and the other thing it says is not you. If you're hearing it talk, it obviously is not you. You are the one who hears the voice. You are the one who notices that it's talking. You do hear it when it talks, don't you? Make it say hello right now. Of course you can. There's a voice talking, and there is a you who notices the voice talking. The problem is that it's easy to notice the voice saying hello, but it's difficult to see that no matter what the voice says, it's still just a voice talking and you listening. There's absolutely nothing that voice can say that is more you than anything else it says. Suppose you are looking at 3 objects, a flower pot, a photograph, and a book. You were then asked which of these objects is you. You'd say none of them. I'm the one who's looking at what you're putting in front of me. It doesn't matter what you put in front of me, it's always going to be me looking at it. You see, it's an act of subject perceiving various objects. This is also true of hearing the voice inside. It doesn't make any difference what it's saying. You are the one who is aware of it. As long as you think that one thing it's saying is you, but the other thing it's saying is not you, you've lost your objectivity. Objectivity? Whatever. You may want to think of yourself as the part that says the nice things, but that's still the voice talking. You may like what it says, but it's not you. There's nothing more important to true growth than realizing that you are not the voice of the mind. You are the one who hears it. Can I just say, and I don't know if this book covers it, but also the voice in your intuition and the voice in your mind are very different. There's nothing more important than true growth than realizing that you are not the voice of the mind, you are the one who hears it. I already said that. If you don't understand this, you will try to figure out which of the many things the voice says is really you. People go through many changes in the name of trying to find myself. They want to discover which of these voices, which of these aspects of their personality is who they really are. The answer is simple: none of them. If you watch objectively, you will come to see that much of what the voice says is meaningless. Most of the talking is just a waste of time and energy. The truth is that most of life will unfold in accordance with forces far outside your control, regardless of what your mind says about it. It's like sitting down at night and deciding whether you want the sun to come up in the morning. The bottom line is the sun will come up and the sun will go down. Billions of things are going on in this world. You can think about it all you want, but life is going to still keep happening. In fact, your thoughts have far less impact on this world than you would like to think. If you're willing to be objective and watch all of your thoughts, you will see that the vast majority of them have no relevance. They have no effect on anything or anybody, except you. They are simply making you feel better or worse about what is going on now, what has gone on in the past, or what might go on in the future. If you spend your time hoping that it doesn't rain tomorrow, you are wasting your time. Your thoughts don't change the rain. You will someday come to see that there is no use for that incessant internal chatter, and there is no reason to constantly attempt to figure everything out. Eventually you will see that the real cause of the problems is not life itself. It's the common mind. No, it's the commotion the mind makes about life that really causes problems. Now, this raises a serious question. If so much of what the voice says is meaningless and unnecessary, then why does it even exist? The secret to answering this question lies in understanding why it says what it says when it says it. For example, in some cases, the mental voice talks for the same reason that the tea kettle whistles. That is, there's a buildup of energy inside that needs to be released. If you watch it objectively, you will see that when there's a buildup of nervous, fearful, or desire-based energies inside, the voice becomes extremely active. This is easy to see when you are angry with someone and you feel like telling them off. Just watch how many times the inner voice tells them off before you even see them. When the energy builds up inside, you want to do something with it. That voice talks because you're not okay inside. The talking releases energy. You will notice, however, that even when you're not particularly bothered by something, it still talks. When you're walking down the street, it says things like, "Look at that dog, it's a Labrador. Hey, there's another dog in that car. He looks a lot like my first dog, Shadow. Whoa, there's an Oldsmobile. It's got Alaska plates. You don't see many of those down here." It's actually narrating the world for you. But why do you need this? You already see what's happening outside. How does it help to repeat it to yourself through the mental voice? You should examine this very closely. With a simple glance, you instantly take in tremendous detail of whatever you're looking at. If you see a tree, you effortlessly see the branches, the leaves, the flowering buds. Why then do you have to verbalize that you've already seen it? Look at that dogwood. The green leaves are so beautiful against the white flowers. Look at how many flowers there are. Wow, it's so full. What you'll see if you study this carefully is that the narration makes you feel more comfortable with the world around you. Like backseat driving, it makes you feel as though you are more in your control, that things are more in your control. You actually feel like you have some relationship with them. A tree is no longer just a tree in a world that has nothing to do with you. It is a tree that you saw, labeled, and judged. By verbalizing it mentally, you brought that initial direct experience of the world into the realm of your thoughts. There it becomes integrated with your other thoughts, such as those making up your value system and historical experiences. Take a moment to examine the difference between your experience of the outside world and your interactions with the mental world. When you're just thinking, you're free to create whatever thoughts you want in your mind, and these thoughts are expressed through the voice. You are very accustomed to settling into the playground of the mind and creating and manipulating thoughts. This inner world is an alternate environment that is under your control. Bark, bark, bark. That's what goes on in my head when my dogs bark. Bark, bark, bark. The outside world, however, marches to its own laws. When the voice narrates the outside world to you, those thoughts are now side by side, in parity with all, I think that's what that word is, with all your other thoughts. All these thoughts intermix and actually influence your experience of the world around you. What you end up experiencing is really a personal presentation of the world according to you, rather than the stark, unfiltered experience of what is really out there. This mental manipulation of the outer experience allows you to buffer reality as it comes in. For example, there are myriad things that you see in any given moment, yet you only narrate a few of them. The ones you discuss in your mind are the ones that matter to you. With this subtle form of pre-processing, you manage to control the experience of reality so that it all fits together inside of your mind. Your consciousness is actually experiencing your mental model of reality, not reality itself. You have to watch this very carefully because you do it all the time. You're walking outside in the winter, you start to shiver, and the voice says, "It's cold." Now, how did that help you? You already knew it was cold. You're the one who's experiencing the cold. Why is it telling you this? You recreate the world within your mind because you can control your mind, whereas you can't control the world. That is why you mentally talk about it. If you can't get the world the way you like it, you internally verbalize it, judge it, complain about it, and then decide what to do about it. This makes you feel more empowered. When your body experiences cold, there may be nothing you can do to affect the temperature. But when your mind verbalizes, "It's cold," you can say, "We're almost home, just a few minutes, now you feel better." In the thought world, there's always something you can do to control the experience. And this is why I talk about recreating the narrative that's in your head. If you have a negative narrative or somebody put a negative narrative, so you're always hearing their voice, like your parents, for example, you do have control over that busy mind. You can recreate the narrative by replacing the negative thoughts with positive thoughts. Anyway, just my little input there. Basically, you recreate the world, and that's why when my children complain, I'm like, instead of complaining, why don't you flip the script, flip the narrative? Anyway, you know how kids are, like, summer hits and they're like, "Oh, it's so hot. Why is it so hot?" And then winter comes and they're like, oh, it's so cold. I wish it was summer. And I'll tell them, like, instead of wishing summer away by complaining about how hot it is, be thankful that it's hot now. You can go in the swimming pool. You can do whatever people like to do when it's hot. I don't know. I prefer the cold. Because soon enough it'll be cold again, right? Anyway, back to the book. Basically, you recreate the outside world inside yourself and then you live in your mind. What if you decided not to do this? If you decide not to narrate and then instead just constantly observe the world, you will feel more open and exposed. This is because you really don't know what will happen next and your mind is accustomed to helping you. It does this by processing your current experiences in a way that makes them fit with your views of the past and visions of the future. All of this helps create a semblance of control. If your mind doesn't do this, you simply become too uncomfortable. Reality is just too real for most of us, and we temper it with the mind. You will come to see that the mind talks all the time because you gave it a job to do. You use it as a protection mechanism, a form of defense. Ultimately, it makes you feel more secure. Bark, bark, bark. You use it, ultimately it makes you feel more secure. As long as that's what you want, you will be forced to constantly use your mind to buffer yourself from life instead of living it. This world is unfolding and really has very little to do with you or your thoughts. I don't know what I forget what else I've read in this book, but I'm also someone that believes that sometimes your thoughts do create your reality, like manifestation. So just throwing that out there. It was here a long time before you came, and it will be here a long time after you leave. In the name of attempting to hold the world together, you're really just trying to hold yourself together. True personal growth is about transcending the part of you that is not okay and needs protection. This is done by constantly remembering that you are the one inside that notices a voice talking. This is the way out. The one inside who is aware that you are always talking to yourself about yourself is always silent. It is a doorway to the depths of your being. To be aware that you are watching the voice talk is to stand on the threshold of a fantastic inner journey. If used properly, the same mental voice that has been a source of worry, distraction, and general neurosis can become the launching ground for a true spiritual awakening. Come to know the one who watches the voice, and you will come to know one of the greatest mysteries of creation. So the next one, which I won't read now, is called 333. It's 333. Is called Your Inner Roommate, which is probably the voice, right? That's probably the voice. The voice in your head that's the inner roommate. Is that what it's about? Your inner roommate. That'll be the next chapter. So, my friends, it was lovely to spend time with you. I hope I remember to add that sunflower video. And I am sending you lots of love and light, my soul tribe, my beautiful friends, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.